Hello, friends, and welcome back to a new episode of the Hangout. Hi, it's Sid. Today we are back with another concert recap, and we are talking all about a group all the way from the east side of Toronto, Ontario. It's Valley, and I was so excited to finally get to see them on their Lost in Translation tour. So make sure you stick around. On this episode, we are talking all about that show. Let's go! I'm so excited to be talking about Valley's show today. I was so fortunate to see them finally because if you don't know, they've been trying to play Vancouver shows for a while, and sometimes, or their Vancouver headlining shows for a while, and they haven't had the best luck. But finally, we got to see them. I believe the show. Let me double check when the show was because it's been a little while. But let me just show off this merch that I'm wearing. This is their Lost in Translation hoodie. And first off, they did such a great job with creating merch that they actually envision fans wearing and merch that they probably want to wear as well, which sometimes I feel like artists don't necessarily put that into consideration, and then they just slap like their tour poster on a t-shirt and then they sell it. And of course people are going to buy it, but for those who go to so many shows, it just gets redundant. And for me, being one of those people who go to shows so often, you really start getting nitpicky with what you want to buy from a concert. Because if you are going to a concert and you get another black hoodie, do you really need like 50 black hoodies in your closet? Probably not. These guys luckily had like a beige off-white nice little hoodie here. Just has Lost in Translation. And if you notice, I literally noticed this because I was looking in the mirror one day, but on the hoodie, in the middle of the chest here, it says Lost in Translation, but then the L in translation is flipped upside down because, of course, Valley, in their logo, in their band art or whatever, the L is flipped. So it's like this. I don't know how to. It's like a 7 and an L for those who are listening and not watching, but I'm trying to describe it. And then also on the back, it's kind of like a graffiti art green flower, which is super cute and subtle. And it just says Lost in Translation again. And if you don't know who the band is or it has no significance to you, it just looks like a really cute piece of like clothing that you would buy at any sort of casual attire store. And it doesn't have any faces on the shirt, which I love. A lot of people don't mind having faces on shirts. I'm just one of those people that don't prefer having the artist's face kind of plastered all over the merch that I wear, because honestly, this hoodie, I wear it all the time now. It's super cute, super comfy. So shout out to Valley for making awesome merch on this tour. Their tour did wrap up, so I can't say, hey, go watch Valley on tour right now, but they just released a new album and it's so good. I am jamming to it. It's been a great summer, and they have one song on the album called Have a Good Summer Without Me. Have a great summer without me. I'm so sorry I butchered that. But Valley, let's see. When was their show? I'm really curious. I feel like it was recent, but not that recent. Scrolling through my phone. Give me a second. I'm scrolling. It was in May 23rd. So a couple months ago. It was at the Hollywood Theater in Vancouver. And to me, I love that venue because it's really intimate and it's a movie theater. There's a lot of comedy shows that happen there as well, but mainly I would say it's like a movie theater. And they kind of take off all the chairs and like the main floor area. And when there's the GA floor, you're kind of all elevated on a slant, which is really cool because like if you're standing in the back, you're not just seeing a whole bunch of heads. You can still see the stage perfectly. So it was a GA concert. It was, I don't know what the capacity of that venue is, but it was a good size. And I really do want to focus on the production and the performances and the openers. Can I start off with saying that this show you know, sometimes you have openers and they're just there because they're opening the show. They're kind of warming up the crowd. These two openers on the Lost in Translation tour were absolutely insane. And I felt like I was watching their headlining shows as well as Valley's. And to me, it felt like it really did feel like a festival because the openers were doing such a phenomenal job just captivating the audience, making sure that everyone was having fun. And the music was so uplifting, fun, vibey, bass driven. And I am going to butcher it. Who ever opened for Valley? Give me a second because I clearly did not prep for this podcast episode that much. Do. This is me filling my time with me singing in this microphone. Okay. I hope I don't butcher these names, but Aiden Bissett and then Devin Cole, two artists that you need to go on Spotify, listen to, jam out to. They're amazing. I really enjoyed these two openers and they put on a great show. I think also with the production level that this tour had in the small capacity it was, the sort of production that this band, every single performance actually put on was so insane because typically when you see like small groups in smaller venues, they don't really put too much effort into the production because of course it's a small venue. The size of everything in the stage is so limited that you can't really put on a big like, oh, Taylor Swift size show, of course. But with the size of the stage given, all three of the groups and performances and every performances are wow, English. Performers just really used the space to their full capacity and it was so great. Valley, I'll hop over to the Valley set. And today I'm going to dive into the set list and everything because the tour is over. And I'm sure when they tour again, it'll be a different set list. Hopefully they have different props and everything. But I'm going to talk about the whole production of their show. First off, they have like TV screens on the side of the stages. And again, like I said, for smaller shows, this doesn't usually happen. So to see that, I was already taken back and my friends and we were standing in the very back of the venue because with these shows too, if you're standing too close to the front of the stage, your neck is just cranked like this, looking up to the ceiling and your neck is just broken for the whole show. At the Hollywood Theater, if you're going to a show in Vancouver, standing in the back is always so much fun because, again, because of the slant, you're kind of overlooking the whole entire venue. You get to see the vibe of the crowd. You get to see everyone on stage. And I just think it's the prime spot to be in. So when I was standing there looking at everything, they had two screens on the side of the stage. And they were kind of like old television box set sort of setups. And of course, every group show starts off with a cool intro. That's how you hook everyone in. This show, they had sort of like little intro face card video moments, montages of the band. And we've got Rob, we've got Kara, we've got Alex, and we've got Mickey. Those are the group members, and Rob being the lead singer. It was funny because we were near the end of this tour and Rob's voice was actually not doing the best that night. And funny enough, they canceled their next show in Seattle the following night. So again, Vancouver could have been up for that chopping block again, but they decided to push through with Vancouver because I think it's the least we deserved after not getting to see them, despite, of course, them taking care of their health, and which is, of course, the most important thing to do. But I just hope they know that it wasn't gone unseen, their efforts to come to Vancouver and put on such a great show. So their set list kind of altered at the Vancouver show because certain songs, of course, required a little bit more efforts. And back to the production, they opened up the show with my favorite song, There's Still a Light in the House. And it was so fun because I kind of felt like I was at like a bar or pub vibe with my friends. Like we all had like our arms around each other's shoulders and we were just jumping up and down to this amazingly introduced song. And they were so energetic, so fun. Rob was in the center, vocalist. Kara was on stage left, drummer, also vocalist, which I love when she gets to shine and sing some solo bits. And then Mickey and Alex had to share the right side of the stage. And they just had so much fun with the crowd. And I really noticed that when you're going to a concert, the sort of interactions that they have with the crowd, you can see if they're feeding off of the crowd's energy. You can see if they're having a great time too. Sometimes there's artists that just have their set, they go throughout the show, and the end, it's over by the end of it. And maybe they didn't talk to the crowd, maybe they didn't read any signs, or maybe they didn't have those sorts of moments with fans. Sometimes it's a little bit different. Whatever reason, some artists just don't like interacting with fans during a show because maybe it takes them out of the groove. But Valley did a great job interacting with fans and having fun. And I think at one point, if I remember correctly, Rob was running through the crowd during the encore, which is always scary just because fans are crazy sometimes, and sometimes they can respect the artist. But it was hilarious because you see Rob running back and forth across the stage, and you see security behind. Oh my gosh, no, I'm getting that confused with the Joshua Bassett tour. That was Josh. Oh my goodness. Should I do a Joshua Bassett recap tour? Because that show was fire. Let me know. But this one's all about Valley right now. But yes, Rob was running across the stage, ended up jumping into the crowd at the end of the show during the encore, which of course when you're in the back you can't really see. You just see where the phones kind of trace the person in the crowd, which is really funny. I think one of my friends, she was waiting for Cure to be played, but unfortunately they did not play it at the Vancouver show. Cure is such a great song off of their new album. And I really was hoping that they would have it, but they didn't, probably because of Rob's voice, but it was okay. Still had a great time. My favorite song live, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can choose one. Really, like, this whole show was so much fun, and I really needed it. And I think Champagne always sticks out to me because Kara gets her own solo moment at the beginning, and she's so talented. All of them are so talented, and I love these guys. And another thing that stuck out was the production during a phone call in Amsterdam. They literally had like a phone booth, like a levitating phone booth, levitating in quotation marks. But there was like a phone that fell from the ceiling. Rob grabs it and starts the song singing into this telephone. And obviously the audio is a little bit morphed to sound as if he's talking through a telephone. And I was like, come on, production. Are you serious? This is amazing. Like, it's something so simple, but it adds that much layers and sort of effects to the show and really makes you feel invested in it. And like, there's a story arc going with it and all. And I loved it so much. And I remember just screaming, oh my God, look at the production of this show. You guys are killing it. And to me, it just shows that like literally any artist has no excuse as to why they can't have a nicely set produced show, even if you're playing a smaller venue, because these guys put on a great show in a small venue. And I was just so excited to see all of it. And I think you just really get to see the sort of different creative levels that certain artists have, because I also think with, say, like the designs of the merch, the designs of like the stage production and show and everything, it's not just the music, it's not just the vocals, it's not just the songs that they're singing. Like, this sort of concert is another level that requires a whole lot of like creative decision making and just a lot of thought goes into it because you think it's kind of like decorating a room. You think, oh, I'm going to paint the walls this color, but then you also have to think about the sort of decor you're bringing into the room, the color of your bed sheets, oh, like your closet, how are you going to store everything? And then it all just sort of comes together to make this like really cool and super well thought out project. And truly, like Rob, Valley, that team, still mind blown by that show. And I honestly can't wait until they tour again with their new album, because the show when we went to go see them, the album had not yet been released. So they sang a couple songs off this new album. And most of the songs off the show were older songs, which I was happy about, because you always have these sort of like the albums that you met these artists at. Sorry, when I say met, like sort of introduced yourself to these artists at. And so like, of course, you have these like stack of songs that are sort of super important that you connect with, that you were like, oh, this was the song that made me fall in love with this artist or whatever. And so when you have these older songs on this set list, you really like cherish them, because say like, so Noah Khan, who we're going to see later this year, he's released 3 albums now, and I have loved his like early on music for so long, and I know I've gotten a sneak peek of his set list. A lot of it is his new album, which I understand, because yes, you're touring for this new piece of work and art and everything. But some diehard fans who literally have loved your music for so long always appreciate hearing the old songs that either brought you to where you are today, that really show that like artist arc of like where you started to where you are now. And sometimes, say like Taylor Swift, you are jumping through eras. You can have country music when you first start, and now you're sort of in this pop world that's a little bit more produced. And so to hear like say Park Bench by Valley live, or Sports Car, those are older songs, and it was just so great to hear those. But then also like hear these newer songs like Have a Great Summer Without Me, or Break For You, or like, yeah, like these sort of newer songs are a little bit more tech pop-y, I want to say. And I guess if you're wondering what sort of genre Valley is, I want to say that they're indie pop, I want to say. Such a fun, uplifting, chill vibe, and just a really great show to go see. And say they come again and you want to go to a concert for the first time. Like, I think Valley is a great intro for the concert world, and everyone is super nice. Sometimes you go to shows and there's people shoving you in the pit and stuff, and that's never a good time. No. I want to talk about the openers. I'm kind of flip-flopping here, but with Devin Cole, her songs were very bass heavy. And again, as an opener, you want to sort of catch the audience's attention. You want to keep them engaged. You want to also share your music with these people that may be a new audience that don't even know your music. And I want to say that she did catch my attention. It was so fun. Her personality was so fun as well. And I think she ended her tour, her leg with Valley, in Vancouver. So our show was the last show for her. She put it all on the floor and she laid it out for everyone, and it was so great. And the one song that stuck out to me was this cowgirl song. What is it called? You might know what it is if you're a Devin Cole fan, and I'm horrible with this. It was Hey Cowboy. And of course, her personality was so much fun, and I think it's just a lot more nowadays than just being like a good singer, songwriter, whatever. It's the performance aspect. It's, can you hold the attention of a crowd? And then Aiden had his very like swag. Swag is still a word. Do people still use that word? He had his like charisma. He had his charm. He had his personality, which I want to say he was also very indie pop, maybe with some rock hint in it. Um, very minor rock though. But no, it was so fun. And I also realized that Aiden was one of his closing songs, Tripping Over Air. Is that a TikTok song? I feel old saying that. Just wondering, because my brother plays it in the car when we're driving somewhere. And I heard it and I was like, oh, I know the song. Didn't know that was you who sang that song. But cool. And now I get to see one and one together. That was really cool. And I was like, oh, I know this song. And of course, when you know the song, you start jumping, you start singing. I think also what was really cool about this show is that not everyone had their phones out. It wasn't one of those shows where it was seen on TikTok where you had to have your phone out and film every single segment of the show. I think people there truly enjoyed the music and they were there to enjoy the music in that moment instead of course, filming it all and using it towards social media or whatever, as fine as that is to keep memories for yourself and everything. But now we're in like an age where people are really doing things for sort of the status, I guess. The status, the sort of, oh, like I was here, cool, come check this out thing. And then there are the fans who just really appreciate the arts and they love it and everything. And I think that this show was really special too because of that. I did not make a vlog for this show just because I had work and everything and I was coming at a very brief moment, but still, such a fun time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to dive into with this. I feel like I talked really fast and I've barely even hit half an hour. Is this a podcast if I don't talk for longer than half an hour? Is it a short episode? I'm curious as to when they might tour again because I'm patiently waiting. Maybe more so eagerly waiting because they were so fun. But there's a show happening out in Calgary later in October where they're opening for Dermot Kennedy. That's another show that I really had a really fun time at, Dermot. Maybe I'll talk about that on another episode too. But Valley is opening for Dermot in Calgary, and I think that'll be a really cool show because the audiences are very different. Dermot's and Valley's audience, but I think they're such a party band and group that I don't think it'll be hard for them to get the crowd to fall in love with them. I'm trying to remember when I discovered Valley. I feel like it might have been when they had released like Hiccup or Sucks to See You Doing Better. So I don't know when that was, but it was a few years ago. I want to say before the pandemic or maybe around the pandemic. But they are just some of the sweetest people, and again, truly they love what they're doing, and it's always just such a fun time. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot one of the most important parts. Where is it? 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 Oh! What song is it? What song is it? Guys, I'm blanking. Oh! Is it? Where's Tempo? Why is Tempo not on the set list that I'm looking at? Yeah, that confused me for a second. But the moment that you have been waiting for the whole entire time when you go see Valley live, especially after when we had a chat with them on our channel, they have this moment where in tempo, they, of course, change the tempo of their song. And there's this moment where they have this huge guitar solo moment. And I have been waiting to hear this moment live since they had told me about it. And it was amazing getting to hear it live and just them like playing around, having fun on stage, and just they had a lot of fun on stage. Like, you could tell they're all best friends and just doing flip-flops on the stage. I don't know, was it Did I make a joke? I feel like I made a joke that there was like Cirque du Soleil happening in front of me because someone was doing flips and tricks and spins and everything, and I was like, what is going on here? And but yes, tempo in the middle where they do their whole guitar solo. Maybe I'll put a video in here. This is just them having fun on stage, changing the tempo, doing their guitar solo moment. I loved it. Okay, and then another song that was super hype, which was super fun, that everyone was screaming and jumping around, was Nevermind. And they got the whole crowd on the floor. Like, it was hilarious because, of course, when you're on the GA floor, everyone's standing and everyone's down in the middle. Right before the chorus, everyone's on the floor. Everyone's on the floor. I see Alex. He's literally pointing at everyone in the crowd, like, get down. I see you. Get down. And then, of course, the chorus hits and everyone jumps up, springs up, and everyone, oh, it was such a moment. That was a lot of fun. So super hype. And I think every single song was super hype. And I think I really enjoy their lyrics, their songwriting ability and everything. Also, just their production with their songs is super fun and innovative, I want to say. Maybe not so innovative that other artists haven't done it before, but these guys are probably one of the ones that I listen to where I notice it's kind of different and it's not just like a singer-songwriter ballady vibe. But yes, they do have some songs like that, like Last Birthday, Good but Not Good Together, but Not Together. Yeah, just they have a really wide range and I really love it. And I would highly recommend seeing Valley live. Oh my god. Excuse me. I would highly recommend seeing Valley live. And honestly, I feel like I should start doing this hangout scale sort of thing. Valley's concert, out of 10, I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10. Like, it was great. Okay, and if we're going back to last week's episode, which we did the Eras tour, I'm so sorry, but I'm giving that show a 10 out of 10. Can I break the scale? I can't break the scale. I just made the scale. 9 out of 10. I had a great time at this show. If you got to go see Valley on this tour, I would love to hear your stories. And if you don't know who Valley is, go check them out. Go check out our episode with them as well, which last year we were talking about their new EP that was coming out. Hey, only their new EP. Was it an EP? Is that correct? I mean, they had like a batch of songs that came out. And then they were going to release the whole album, but no, it was there. Yes, okay. It was an EP. I'm not crazy. They released Last Birthday. Yeah, okay. I love going to concerts. I love recapping them. This one's a little bit different because I did do a vlog, so you can't really get to vicariously live through us when we went to go to that show, but here is a concert recap for you. And this weekend, we're going back to the Eras tour because we're going to see Taylor in Seattle. I'm so excited. I will probably talk about the set list in the next episode for the Eras tour because it'll be more fresh in my brain. And at this rate, the Eras tour US leg is almost over. So, question mark, she may or may not change the set list in the coming shows. So I feel more okay with talking about the set list. And if you don't want to hear the set list, maybe skip through the episode. But if you do want to hear it, come back, hang out, and listen to some random girl talk about why she loves music. And yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and listening to this new episode and concert recap of Valley's Lost in Translation tour. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at the Hangout CA. You can also like and subscribe to the Hangout on YouTube. And you can also listen to all of our episodes on all the podcast streaming platforms from Spotify, Apple Music, Anchor, whatever it is. Go check us out and have a good time enjoying music and living life. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.